guys, Jorre from Sharp 11 Music here. Today we will be looking at a solo from Benny Carter. In the transcription I posted this week, you can hear him playing beautifully a ballad, and he has some magnificent lines as well as his complete interpretation of the lines are very interesting here. So we will be looking at conceptual line where he plays a certain melodic pattern, and also just a little broader view about how he plays and what his feel is, which is kind of laid back, but I want to give you some hints about how you can copy it your own way. So if we look at how he plays laid back, most people when they play laid back, they just tend to just get lazy in rhythm and get behind the beat. But yeah, Benny Carter does it, he gets behind the beat, but what is important here is that he actually plays fairly straight 8 notes, or well, when he goes into double time, I notated it as 16ths, but it's kind of double time 8 notes. He goes really straight in how he plays them, and he phrases every note. That's also very important to note here, that he really tongues every note. Let me give you an example of, for example, the first bridge of the tune. And so on. And then next time, a few bars later, he does. You can really, I'm maybe exaggerating it, but that's kind of the concept. He's really tonguing every note there, and then with that tonguing he goes a little bit behind the beat, and sometimes, well, he goes behind the beat mostly in the bar, and then he accelerates when he wants to, you know, conclude mostly on the beat of a next bar. So guys, this is very important. This is something I would take now if I would play a ballad. Then I probably too would start to phrase a lot more of the notes and play it probably more straight, because I think a lot of mistakes are being made when most people try to play like swing ballads, that they also go into da ba da ba do. They really syncopate the notes, or they don't give it the same value. I think the players like Benny Carter and Johnny Hodges, Paul Desmond, and all the great players, they make the difference between the offbeat and the downbeat, but not in timing, but in phrasing. That's the important takeaway here. Then we come to also a lick of the week, and let me play it. It's actually the next bridge part, the next B part. I like a lot when he goes to this B section. He has some cool ideas there. Let me play it for you. It's with a pickup. This is a line, the first line he plays here is actually a kind of sus he's imposing over those chords. You can look at it as a G sharp sus 7. He uses all the notes of that chord. It's a G sharp, a C sharp, D sharp, and an F sharp. And then he uses it rhythmically through the octaves. He builds a little bit tension. It gives a very open sound, and that's really nice. And then that gives an open sound on the beginning of this 2-5-1 towards B. So we are now on a C sharp minor 7. When the F sharp 7 is there, the 5th degree, the dominant, he goes into an octotonic pattern. You can see that the pattern is kind of triads included with a flat 9. So he plays first E flat, triad, the first note being an E flat, then he plays this flat 9, the E, then the G and the B flat, then the triad is completed. And then he does it the same, but then 1.5 step above, a minor third apart from it, the same exact sequence. So we can see it also later in his solo when he has this open cadenza at the end. He plays the same pattern and then he continues it for a much longer time. So this is the same pattern. You can see it on the second beat. Well, here on the second beat, the second note, I heard the F sharp. I think it's even unclear. I think he intended the E if you look at the rest of the line. So just neglect that for a moment. So from the second beat here, the third beat, that's exactly the same as we just saw in this 2-5-1. And then he continues the pattern. So I think it's a really nice little pattern. It's an octotonic pattern. So octotonic means half whole tone scale also. It works because it's symmetrical. I like it a lot. All the symmetric scales like the half tone whole tone scale or the whole tone scale, these things work very nicely over dominant 7th chords. And because it's a diminished pattern with the tone centers in F sharp, A, C, E flat, that's a F sharp dim chord, you can do it on also all the dominant chords of those notes. And then you can, of course, there are 2 other diminished patterns and octotonic scales. You can transfer it as well. I will do so for our patrons. I will make it into a nice exercise in different keys. So guys, I hope you think by now, like if you didn't know Benny Carter, I didn't know him as well either, but I just started discovering him and I think he's really up there with all the greats. He has some excellent ideas and a very distinct way of playing. So go and grab some ideas of his playing. That would be awesome. Let me know what you think about my thoughts, and if you have some other thoughts as well. Maybe you have some different places that you like even more, or just comment down below. Let me know what you think about Benny Carter and his solo, and I'll get back to you. I've been Jorre from Sharp 11 Music and hope to see you next time.